Okay, I want to also talk a little bit about some of the gotcha. So first is the sole proprietor. Okay, so a sole proprietor generally does not need to file an EIN, but under some special circumstances, it needs. Okay, so let me write it down for you. So generally, no EIN required to if there's like no employee, you're just a sole proprietor. You work for yourself, you're your own boss. You don't need EIN for that. But if you are already have some of the like employment, you want to file employment taxes, required to file employment taxes. So you know what? You need the EIN for that because you are technically you are an employer, right? You got an employee, your employer, so you're required to file employment taxes, right? Excise, so excise tax return. If you want to file that, this is not exercise, it's excise. Okay, this is a special one. If you must file excise tax returns, you also need to have an EIN in order to do that. Okay, because you are fine and sort of like an entity, right? And of course, if you got like a proper pension, qualified, of course, it's a qualified, right? Qualified retirement plan. If you want to file that, you establish a qualified retirement plan. Want to file the pension returns, you also need a EIN for that. So even though you might say, well, I'm just a sole proprietor, you still need to do that. Okay, and but if by the way, there's some of the special cases that I'm not listing here. So basically, if you want to find some special thing, special goods, special merchandises, tax returns. So for example, like alcohol, okay, like the tobacco, like the firearm. Okay, if you want to file all these tax returns, you also need a EIN number in order to do that. So you can see that how things goes. This is just some special cases, right? So if you want to file that, you have to use the EIN. And if I think we pretty much include everything. But if you want to do that, you have to check that for the latest information, as the tax field is constantly changing. Okay, not like an inclusive, all inclusive. Okay, so if none of this apply to the sole proprietor, most likely they don't need, and of course they don't have any employees. Okay, they're just technically the name, just like as the name stated, they're sole proprietor, just work for themselves. Okay, there's no employees. You just may use this SSN or ITIN, just no EIN for that. Okay, so that's the special case of the sole proprietor. So if you got type of entity sole proprietor here, there's some special cases.